you might be wondering why this asshole here is hosting this week. Well, that's because I'm hosting. And since I'm hosting, we're going to have other people do the news this week. So Mario, take it away.
All right, so now it's Mario's News Corner. Here we go, segment 2.
It's Mario's News Corner this week.
The patch notes.
I do want to thank Fee for compiling the news this week. Thank you,
Yes,
Fee.
Fee did a great job of compiling the news. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I read it ahead of time. It looks really good.
Yes, so thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak for you. Starting with segment 2 in the patch notes, the first big story. It's finally official. They've gotten married. Bethesda and Microsoft are together. They are one. There is no prenup. So shout out to them. It was a 7.5 billion purchase. That's a lot of money. And which of course goes into our first article by Nick Stat at The Verge report. Why Microsoft bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion. Microsoft's priciest video game acquisition, a $7.5 billion purchase of Bethesda Softworks' parent company, ZeniMax Media, shocked the industry on Monday. The deal puts Bethesda as one of the industry's biggest publishers and owners of some of the most successful gaming series under the Xbox brand. It also raises a simple but powerful question: how does buying Bethesda fit into Microsoft's overall Xbox strategy? To sort of sum up, there was like a roundhouse table that they did where there was a video that was like an hour long where they talked about everything. And some of the things I think they pulled out of there, I think right here, with concerns of the future Bethesda games being Xbox exclusive, Phil Spencer said to Bloomberg, but also he also said on this roundtable that it's going to be a case-by-case basis when we shall see games as they see. So they're basically taking care of all their legalese of like the games that I've already contracted. So Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, they're going to definitely go to PlayStation first. Eventually, they might show up, obviously, on Xbox and Game Pass specifically. And the big thing here was Game Pass. The fact that after this announcement, the next day, we got 20 of the biggest, craziest Bethesda games now on the platform that is able to play via Xbox, PC, and cloud. So much more access now to these games that I feel like people might not have given a chance. So that's pretty crazy. Really, the question is to everyone, to you guys, what do you guys think of this? Like, is this a good thing for Xbox and a good thing for gamers overall? I'm gonna give it to Harv. Harv looks like he's contemplating something.
No, I've talked about this for a couple of times. Be like, what games are going to be more exclusive and what games are going to be multi-platform for this deal, right? For the games that are like really, really popular, like I think this is a good thing for Microsoft if they can get their exclusivities right with their franchises, right? Elder Scrolls and like Fallout, I feel like should be it should be everywhere because it is a brand that's already been established. It's got a lot of lineage going back to PlayStation, a lot of lineage going back to like the different systems and stuff like that, right? But when it comes to like Starfield, when this new game's coming out, like Starfield, maybe that's going to be an exclusive game to Xbox, right? Because it's a new IP. They don't know how it's going to go, how it's actually going to perform. Maybe it's going to be better on Game Pass. Maybe it'll be an exclusivity on Game Pass before it comes on to PlayStation, like a 6-month exclusivity deal. And this drives more people to Game Pass now. Like I was looking today and I saw all the Fallout games on there. I was like, wow, okay. Fallout, Doom, Dishonored, all the games are on there now. Even Fallout 76 is on there. And it's like, man, like this is an incentive. But if you don't have Game Pass, why this makes it seem like you have to have Game Pass at this point. If you want to play all of the Bethesda games for what? $15 a month? $12 a month? Sometimes it's $1 just to get in.
Yeah, so Microsoft says it has 15 million Game Pass subscribers averaging $10 per. And I think that's because of there's the premium version that has everything together, and then there's just Game Pass by itself.
Yeah.
Which I believe
so
is 15.
In my opinion, this is like, I think it's going to work amazing for Xbox. For when it comes, like for the games that are coming onto Game Pass right now, for the games that are coming out soon, I am still trepidatious about like what is going to be exclusive and what is not going to be exclusive. So I'm kind of hoping they go everywhere, but honestly, like they said, it's a case-by-case basis, so maybe the ones that are already established won't, and the ones that aren't, and they're just trying to see how it goes, they will be.
Got it. Before I jump into Fee, because Fee is my ace in the hole when it comes to Bethesda. Slide, have you had a history or a connection to any of these titles and the fact that they're now accessible to everywhere that you could possibly play? Because you got an Xbox Series X, is that correct?
I don't have an X. I have an S. I have the
Okay.
little baby one.
Sure.
I love it to pieces. It's literally just my Gamepass machine, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that history because I had mostly Nintendo consoles growing up,
Sure.
right? So I didn't really play any of those games, and I'm really excited because now I can play through like all of Fallout and see why Fee loves Fallout so much and that kind of stuff, right? So I'm really excited to jump into some of those older Bethesda games that I now can, for what feels like for free on Game Pass. So that's what I'm most excited about is Game Pass is just, it's been said a million times, it's just so good for gamers. Especially being a very broke college student, being able to pay like $15 a month and have access to hundreds upon hundreds of games. It's incredible.
No, for sure. That's absolutely true, especially with the EA play as well, a part of that. So it's just gotten bigger. The fact that the games that you're going to be able to play, and I'm so jealous by, is that you're going to see the FPS boosts from your Series 7, Series S. That makes me jealous that you're going to be able to experience these in a different way. And then for people that have the X, the 4K stuff. So that makes me pretty jealous. But Fee, as someone who is a massive Bethesda fan, loves the Fallout series, how does this strike to you? Because I know that you have were you primarily a PlayStation person? Does this scare you at all?
I am primarily a PlayStation. I will admit, before I was a PlayStation person, I was a PC fan. Like, I played everything on PC. So once I actually get a computer, which currently is like the top priority, I'm really excited for this. Like, I'm really happy to see that all of these games are being brought over. I know that Bethesda and Microsoft have honestly kind of been in a kind of like a bromance / friendship for years. This was just essentially them just like finalizing it. And so it makes a lot of sense in the long run that they made this move. And I'm kind of excited because this might open opportunities to maybe see better options. And I know, and it was discussed in the roundtable, is when Fallout 76, they know that it did not do well at the beginning. Like, they messed up. And like the group that was working on it, I know Todd Howard specifically mentioned the fact that he reached out to Phil Spencer and was just like, what should we do? And now that they are working as a team, they might have access to this knowledge and these other studios and more like abilities to be able to avoid those particular issues in the future with future like Fallout games and future like Elder Scrolls games and the newest game that they're coming out with as well. So I'm really excited for this. And honestly, I think this is a really great move because this allows a lot of people to get access to these games, because this might be along the lines of, well, I've been interested in Fallout, but then I heard 76 sucks. So now they have access to the older games like 3, New Vegas, and 4, which were fan favorites at the times when they were released. Like, they are great games. Mind you, they still have glitches, but that's just like the Bethesda norm. But I'm really excited to see more people to get access to these games. Like you guys said, I've been a huge fan for quite a while of the series, and I enjoy the Elder Scrolls not as much as Fallout, just because I have way too many hours in Fallout, but it makes me really excited. And am I slightly worried about exclusivity? Maybe, but not to the extent that maybe I would have been like a few years ago, because I know right now the main focus for Xbox is Game Pass, because the whole idea of bringing these games and having Bethesda specifically to have, like, when they release these games, you can just play it on Game Pass. Like, you're not going to have to worry about it. This gives more options to gamers. And if it means in the long run that people like Sly can get access to it, because a lot of people who are gamers are broke college students, and just it allows people to play games that they may not have like realized in the past because they have access to it now. Because rather than having to spend a bunch of money, they can be like, hey, you know what? I heard what is it? Let's say Dishonored was a good game. So I'm just going to download it and try to play it this weekend. Or I am going to try The Evil Within because I like horror games. Like, it gives more opportunities for gamers who may not have wanted to put money forward in the past. Yeah.
No, that's all solid takes. Frank, as the closest Fallout fan near me, and I know this because don't you own the nuke from Fallout?
I do. I own the nuke. I have a power armor helmet in the back. I got a few Pip-Boys.
And a couple bags from your collector's edition.
Yeah, I have the canvas bag and the shitty nylon one they gave us for Fallout 76.
What are your thoughts on this?
So I'm looking at the list here of like the games that are getting added, and I'm a little ashamed to say I've played every single one of these very extensively. I'll get to the Microsoft thing in a minute, but I feel on the Bethesda side, this is great because ZeniMax, I feel, wasn't really holding Bethesda to a standard. Given I like the idea of just taking a company and letting them roll with what they do, and I hope Microsoft does that with Bethesda. But at the same time, I hope they hold them to a standard of let's get these glitches out of the way. Bethesda, it's 2021. We shouldn't be using the Gamebryo engine. We should be using a new engine that's better. Bethesda now has the resources to, multi-billion-dollar company, multi-trillion-dollar company. Bethesda, please change your engine already. Gamebryo is way too old for this. But on the Microsoft side, one of the biggest complaints Microsoft has against them right now is that Microsoft just doesn't have any big hitters like Sony does. They don't have a God of War. They don't have a Last of Us. They don't have these like crazy games that are always showing up in a Game of the Year type of like setting. And I feel that's going to change with Bethesda, bringing all these companies in, like Arcane, like Bethesda themselves, the studio that does Ghostwire. I think they're Tango Gameworks.
Yeah.
Tango Gameworks, yeah. Shinji Mikami's company, I believe it is.
Yeah.
But all these studios are slowly like funneling into Microsoft, and that's not even including the big studio acquisitions they had a few years ago, with like Ninja Theory, I believe, and all those other companies.
Yeah. This feels like 10 of those.
Exactly, right? It feels like they just like acquired 10 more companies. This is big. It may not look like it right now because Microsoft still doesn't have anything really to show for it other than Game Pass titles being added. But give it a year or two. It's gonna be competitive. And one of the best things about things getting competitive is that Sony is gonna figure out a way to retaliate against this or figure out a way to one up Microsoft in some way, and I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. Like, competition is the best part. If you've ever followed the GPU and CPU market, you remember AMD used to be like crazy terrible and nobody ever wanted to buy them. You'd always buy Intel, you'd always buy Nvidia. That changed. Now GPUs are getting cheaper, given you can't find them. CPUs are getting cheaper, given you can't find them. But competition always breeds more innovation, and I cannot wait to see what comes out of innovation when it comes to these studios joining Microsoft.
That's kind of what I'm hoping that the PlayStation Plus thing that they've done, right? With the old PS4 games and putting up to PS5 and up-resing them and giving them 60 FPS. I'm hoping as long as you have PlayStation Plus, they're going to add all these games day one. I doubt they're going to do that because I feel like PlayStation's still in the old mindset of like, we got to charge people $70 for a game, right? And right now, we're going to do it because we want to play the new God of War. We want to play the new Horizon. But I feel like at some point they got to take the turn, right? They got to go around the corner and just be like, okay, we need to change.
They have to put their backs against the wall for it to happen, I think. Like, it has to be drastic that Xbox has to swing up for that to happen, because there is no actual reason why PlayStation needs to do anything major at this point. Like I said, like even Frank said, they have the games. We're buying them. I think that's
consoles are being sold.
As a matter of fact, yeah, I mean, that's one of our other stories that we have going on where we're talking about the And let's transition to that one.
We'll transition to that one.
Yeah, and then I'll jump over it. But basically, one of our other stories here is by Wesley LeBlanc by IGN. PS5 is the fastest selling console in the U.S. history for dollar sales. Of course, Fee has pointed out that the Switch is gross sales, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still, consoles are doing good, but specifically out of the two latest new ones, PS5 seems to be the fastest one selling by dollar. According to this MPD group, released its monthly report covering the best-selling consoles, video games from February. So it's been since February. But yeah, even though there's some crazy shortages going on and people are been sopping up whenever Wario 64 comes up and has a link, everyone's crazy for it. I think that the PS5 is still at such a high demand that it's still going to be a while before I would even see Xbox coming up, even though they have all these awesome acquisitions, but they still don't have the games. They have other people's games right now. So I don't know what are your thoughts in terms of the PS5 fee for it being one of the biggest selling things right now?
Honestly, I'm not particularly shocked, and I think that kind of goes back to the fact that Microsoft might be putting a real focus on Game Pass, because for someone like me, I technically, once I get a PC, I'm probably not going to buy the newest Xbox right away.
Sure.
I have the PC, so I'm going to be able to play these games on PC, and I'll be happy about it. I'm not going to be going to be honest, that's completely something I wouldn't have said a few years ago, because I used to be you know what, this is really dumb. Xbox isn't putting in the focus that they should be. Their PC gaming, sure, that's kind of cool, but why am I going to buy a console when I can just play it on PC? But now I'm hell yeah, I want to get fucking Game Pass to be able to play all these games, and that's where they're making money. And I know right now, to be able to play these PlayStation games, you need the console. You need to have the PlayStation 5, and I understand why they're making that much money, and I can see why specifically they're doing so well. As it's been out for 5 months at this point that they're making so much money, every single time. And we've talked about this in the past, where it will go on sale, it'll be posted somewhere and then it'll be instantly sold out. The Switch was really popular when it first came out, and I'm it's still doing fantastic for sales numbers.
Yeah.
But it was not in comparison to how crazy this has been with the PlayStation, because the Xbox, you see it on there for a few hours, it lingers, it'll still sell out by all means, but
Nobody's
it's not
telling me.
anywhere.
Nobody's telling me when I want one.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Every time I see Wario 64 and stuff, they tweet about it. Literally 2 minutes later, people are saying, "I can't get one now. I can't get one," because they're just gone. They're just instantly gone. And I feel like this shortage of PS5s is going to happen probably for the rest of the year. But it's insane. And like going back to like the Game Pass thing, it's like, yeah, I guess at some point it's gonna have to happen, right? But like you guys said, we're gonna pay the money to buy these games like God of War and Horizon and stuff like that, because we want to play those games and we know how high quality they're gonna be.
For sure.
Yeah.
Frank, did you have something to say?
I just think
Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead, Fee.
No. I was just gonna say, like, as a person who's a fan of Stadia, I want to be able to, like, I want to see things like the streaming services when it comes to games. Kind of like, it's definitely where we're looking into. Like, that's like what it seems to be like the future of gaming, because it's the same thing that happened with television, where we had streaming services like Netflix come in and a bunch of these other ones, because now everyone needs to have a fucking streaming service. That it's almost the same way with games. Like, obviously it plays a little bit differently. You're not playing it online, but you have access to all of these games. And rather than in the past where you've had to buy multiple games, you can just pay for a subscription to just play them. And it makes it it's accessible to more people. And I think that's actually really smart on Microsoft's part, because it's not just the console that you need now. Whereas, like I said, with PlayStation, you need the console. With Microsoft, they're like, yeah, you can play on PC. If you want to pay, like,
you can play on your phone.
You can play on your
like,
phone.
you can play anywhere.
You can play Halo on your freaking phone. Mind you, am I going to play Halo on my phone? No.
I did it in
You're
the
not gonna see
Horizon
me
store.
Yeah. I think it's really smart.
Play
And
Tell
I think
Me What on your phone. There's no excuses. Go play Tell Me What.
That's how I played it.
And the money that they're making from the subscriptions is probably why they're putting so much of a focus on it, because they're realizing how many people want to play games that way.
For sure. Frank, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, basically everything Fee already just said.
It's perfect.
No,
It's good.
I was gonna say I don't think the console war really even matters anymore, because the way Xbox is positioning their console now, it's not that you're buying just a console, you're buying the service that goes with it. You're buying a very good Xbox Live service. You're buying a catalog of games for $15 a month. Like, it's insane. I remember back in the day where we had to scrounge for games. Like, we had to play demos over and over again just to get like the feel of a game and stuff like that. Now, for $15, you could just play thousands of games just like right at your fingertips. It's insane. And until Sony really figures out a way to do something on their end, they're always going to kind of look in a way a little bit less enticing. I get the PlayStation 5 is a big and everybody loves the console and everything like that, but there's really nothing to play on it right now other than upreses of games you've already played. And unfortunately, like, yeah, they give you something every month, but so does Xbox. And Xbox has 1,000 more games on there to, you know, entice you into keep playing their console.
For audio listeners,
For the audio listeners, Mario just held up Immortals Phoenix Rising PS5.
No, is that Immortal?
Yeah, it's Immortals.
Why did I think that was Horizon for a second?
I thought that was Tony Hawk. I was going to say, like, that's on every other console. But like Fee said,
I mean, I'm still replaying Miles Morales every time I get sad. So like,
there you go.
But the
like,
thing about Miles Morales is that it is a PS4 game as well, right? It's not just a PS5; it's on PS4.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, like when you look at your PS5 catalog, you're like what Frank said, you're still playing PS4 games at this point as doing upres. I guess like the only other one right now is Demon Souls, which is a PS5 exclusive. The Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be a PS5 exclusive when it comes out, which is kind of insane.
Wait, PS5? What are you saying?
Yeah, the new one.
The
part
new
two.
Intergrade is going to be PS5
Yeah,
exclusive.
Got it.
I thought you were talking about part two. Like, yeah.
No. Well, I
PS5.
mean, now since this PS5, like this Intergrade is PS5 exclusive, do they do Final Fantasy VII remake, the next part PS5 exclusive?
Oh no doubt.
Yeah, the next one will
Right.
be exclusive for sure.
Yeah,
There's no way they would.
and they won't do PS4 for that one.
No, there's no. By the time that game comes out, which is like 2030,
I mean,
PS4 is going to be already.
To be fair, Harv,
we'll have Elden Ring by the time we have Final Fantasy.
Oh, don't say that! No, I refuse.
don't hurt Harv like that.
I was gonna say, I mean, Intergrade is really just them not avoiding to say the word remastered. It's just,
Yeah, it's literally the subsistence of Final Fantasy.
But Intergrade is more of a side story.
No. Well, you're saying so Yuffie's story is not going to be on the PS4? That sounds silly.
No, it's a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah,
That part's
dumb.
definitely PS5.
That sounds dumb.
That was PS4 peasants.
No, it doesn't. No, but the fact that it's literally just an episode like DLC that you have to pay for, by the way, it's separate from Intergrade. No, it has to come for PS4. There's no way. I'll look that up later. But anyway,
Look it up all you want.
I'll look it up.
This is all what anyways, yeah, let's get back to the yeah.
They don't need to sell consoles. They're making, but if you pay for a year of Game Pass, they're getting $150 a year, right? That's way more than they'll probably make just like selling one console to you every 7 years. You know what I mean? Or however people buy their consoles. I buy like 2 consoles a generation. I usually buy the slim one whenever it comes. But this is a good reoccurring payment Microsoft's gonna constantly make, and it's all going to Microsoft. I believe it's going to. I don't know how the accounting works there, but it's Microsoft making money, and Sony, you know, eventually they're gonna lag behind. Eventually, Microsoft's gonna start making a little bit more than Sony. Eventually, Sony's gonna be like, okay, we need to find our own Game Pass alternative, so then we can start getting into this cheddar ourselves. When that happens, it's going to be great because Sony has a lot of backlog of titles of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games that they could totally add to their console, and I will buy your Game Pass if you add them all to them.
Yeah, please figure out your backwards compatibility so I can play classic games like Small Soldiers, A Bug's Life, and Rugrats. I want to play all those games. The Harry Potter game from the original, want that as well.
Harry Potter 2 prototype.
Yes.
But the loop of console wars are going to constantly happen. But speaking of other loops, Mario, do you want to talk about our next topic?
We were not going to talk about that story, but since you're bringing
it's
it
the
up.
next one behind it. My bad.
No, I know. I got you. No, I'm kidding. We were going to talk about it quickly because it's Fee's favorite game. Loop Hero is a surprisingly addictive, endless RPG. Sells 500,000 copies in 1 week.
It's really good for an indie game.
Yeah, it's this is by Rebecca Valentine from IGN. Let's see here. 1 week ago, a surprising little RPG about the end of the world launched on Steam, published by Devolver. Now, only 7 days later, Loop Hero has sold over 500,000 copies. With 500,000 players now at an average of playtime of 12 hours, that makes an estimate of 3 trillion hours played and 18 billion loops. At least according to Devolver, who may be exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, they're definitely the ones that would exaggerate.
They're definitely exaggerating a
Its
little bit.
soundtrack is also the fastest selling in Devolver history. So, Fee, what does that make you feel?
So happy. No, honestly, like
So happy.
Together.
so happy.
I thought you were wearing a
no.
onesie for a second. I was like, oh, cool. It's like a Pikachu onesie.
No, I'm wearing a what is it? A Shroot Farm shirt? Like it has
Okay.
like a bead on it.
Watch it be a Loop Hero one.
Very
It's
nice.
a Loop Hero t-shirt.
No, I
He
wish.
is now 100% the #1 Loop Hero fan.
I mean, Point in Progress is the reason why
Hello,
that game
Devolver
sold.
Digital.
Yeah, it sold 500,000 copies.
Devolver, we
Exactly.
expect
People
some kickback
listen
here.
to the podcast. They're like, man, that Fee girl has some really good suggestions, and yeah, I do. You're
Nina
welcome.
Struthers, call me,
Um,
please.
Nita Struthers, please call us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, no. Honestly, I'm really happy that this game is becoming so popular because it's a game that like it's not an orthodox game in comparison to like the AAA games that sell like a large amount in their first week. It is a small roguelike deck builder game that is 100% up my alley. It's a game that I would particularly play, and when I'm streaming it, people are like, this is definitely a Fee game. And absolutely, like it has that kind of like darker theme to it, and it's relatively easy but complex enough that every single time that someone comes in and they're like, man, this looks really cool, how do you play it, I'm like sitting there explaining it as my character is running around in this loop. And I'm really excited about this because it might like lean more like interest into deck builder games, which for me, give me all of them. Like send them my way because they're definitely a type of game that's just, it gives you enough time to like, you need to think about it, and it definitely has consequences, but at the same time you learn at the same time. It's really great. I am really happy for them. For Quarter, who is the group who made it, and then the developer obviously is Devolver Digital. I am really happy. Congratulations, guys. And yeah, because I've bought it twice already.
Twice.
I bought it for myself.
Twice?
I bought it for Harv.
I
bought it for Harv because I'm like, this is 100% a game that Harv would like. And then I bought it for him, and then for some reason it popped up on his stream. So here we are.
I was so confused. I'm like, what's this pop up? Oh, wait, Fee just gifted me a game. Okay.
I thought Harv only liked Neo 2.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No,
Yeah,
I was
Harv
watching
only plays one game.
Sekiro.
Sekiro tied into this game. No, I was watching your stream, Fee, and I think we were sitting in Discord, and you were streaming
Yeah.
it, and I was like, man, this looks like a really, really cool game, because I'm not a big fan of like roguelikes, but this one has like that loop. It all depends on the loop for me, right? Hades had a really, really good combat loop and a really good loop that for your upgrading and all that kind of stuff. And that's what really got me addicted, and it's got a good story. This one just seems like it's got a good combat loop, and it's got a cool little thing with the deck builder stuff. I've never ever played a deck builder, so this is gonna be my very first time doing like this kind of type thing. So I'm actually really, really excited to jump into this. This is what I'm jumping into next week. One of the 3 different games, guys. The different games I'm be jumping in next week.
Different.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing 3 different games.
And one of them, yeah, I specifically said you need to play this on stream because I think you'd really enjoy it. I've always liked kind of like dark, kind of like HP Lovecraftian, kind of like elder kind of creatures, and so I think it's definitely something that it's nice that it's being introduced and it has that 1980s vibe, and it's just overall just it's easy to play, but it's just complex enough that it keeps you interested, and then you're constantly like, ooh, what's the next loop going to look like? I think someone compared it to cocaine. I'm literally remembering that Devolver Digital posted an article that said that it is as addictive as cocaine, which, once again, Devolver Digital, your news and your information that you give out, like, by all means, like, I'd rather, like, this game is fantastic. I highly recommend it for everybody. And it's currently, I think, only $10 USD in the Steam store. I know it's 14 Canadian, so I'm trying to do quick maths in my head. But yeah, I'm hoping that we see more indies that are not just like, oh, let's play like a 4-person co-op, or think kind of like, what is it? Things like Fortnite. I want something like this. I want more games that have a really great storyline and just allow you to immerse yourself without having to feel the burden of, I have a storyline and I have to continue. It's just, I finished a loop and then I beat the boss and then I come back to my campfire, and then that's all you need to worry about.
That's the same how I felt when I played Solitaire Conspiracy last year, the Mike Bethel game, because I just played through it. I mindlessly just getting through, and it was a story-based thing, and all you had to do was just play games. So simple, so mindless. So I get it.
Would you say that you enjoy it because of the short length of it?
I would say so. I would enjoy the short length of it. Trying to figure out what the segue is.
The indie.
I was trying to segue to the hot takes.
That is the end of the news. Take it away, Frank.
All right, so we're gonna transition to something smaller.